Okay, sweetie, it's time for bed. Did you brush your teeth? Good, let's get you all tucked in. It's cold outside. Okay, would you like to pick a story? The tales we told as the world grew cold. Okay, which one should we read first? Oh, did you remember to turn off your phone? Remember our rule, no phones in bed. We don't want it to wake you up in the middle of the night. Okay, good, let's get comfy. And we'll start our first story. Briar Rose.
Hey guys, sorry I'm late. Just go ahead, do your thing.
A king and a queen, once upon a time, reigned in a country a great way off, where there were, in those days, fairies.
Oh, I love fairies.
Now, this king and queen had plenty of money and plenty of fine clothes to wear and plenty of good things to eat and drink and a coach to ride out in every day. But though they had been married many years, they had no children, and this grieved them very much indeed. But one day, as the queen was walking by the side of the river at the bottom of the garden, she saw a poor little fish that had thrown itself out of the water and lay nearly dead, gasping on the bank.
Oh, bro, not the fish.
Then the queen took pity on the little fish and threw it back again into the river. And before it swam away, it lifted its head out of the water and said, "I know what your wish is, and it shall be fulfilled. In return for your kindness to me, you will soon have a daughter." What the fish had foretold soon came to pass. And the queen had a little girl so very beautiful that the king could not cease looking on it for joy. And he said that he would hold a great feast and make merry and show the child to all the land.
Mommy, did we have a feast when I was born?
Oh, no, sweetie. That's only happening because she's a princess. The feast is for the princesses.
So he asked his kinsmen and nobles and friends and neighbors. And the queen said, "I will have the fairies also, that they might be kind and good to our little daughter." Now, there were 13 fairies in the kingdom, but as the king and queen had only 12 golden dishes for them to eat out of, they were forced to leave one of the fairies without asking her.
Why didn't they just get more dishes?
Well, because, Gabby, gold plates are a very expensive commodity. And if the king and queen don't budget the tax dollars wisely, they end up subject to a parliamentary vote of non-confidence. Do you want that to happen to the king and queen? Oh.
Dude, if you think about it, that's kind of fucked.
Can you watch your language on this stream, young man?
Well, imagine how much more fucked it would be if the 13th fairy showed up anyway.
So 12 fairies came, each with a high red cap on her head and red shoes with high heels on her feet and a long white wand in her hand. And after the feast was over, they gathered round in a ring and gave all their best gifts to the little princess. One gave her goodness, another beauty, another riches, and so on, till she had all that was good in the world. And just as 11 of them had done blessing her, a great noise was heard in the courtyard. And word was brought that the 13th fairy was come.
Called it?
With a black cap on her head and black shoes on her feet and a broomstick in her hand. And presently up she came into the dining hall. Now, as she had not been asked to the feast, she was very angry and scolded the king and queen very much indeed. And so she set to work to take her revenge. And she cried out, "The king's daughter shall, in her 15th year, be wounded by a spindle and fall down dead."
What's a spindle?
Isn't that the new ebook reader, I think?
No.
Oh, did you mean to say Pringle? Let me just,
Here we go again. Sir, if you're going to be eating on this, you need to put yourself on mute first.
Oh, yeah, right. Nope. There we go.
Then the 12th of the friendly fairies, who had not yet given her gift, came forward, and she said that the evil wish must be fulfilled, but that she could lessen its mischief. And so her gift was that when the king's daughter, when the spindle wounded her, should not really die, but only fall into a deep sleep for 100 years.
I wish I could sleep for that long, honestly. I mean, damn. It's like they can still hear me. Good.
We can! However, the king hoped still to save his dear child altogether from the threatened evil. So he ordered that all the spindles in the kingdom should be bought up and burnt. But all the gifts of the other 11 fairies were, in the meantime, fulfilled. For the princess was so beautiful and well-behaved and good and wise that everyone who knew her loved her.
Damn, bro, I wish I could find someone like that.
It happened on the very day she was 15 years old.
Oh shit, never mind.
Yeah, no, I mean, older women are where it's at, you know?
On the very day she was 15 years old, the king and queen were not at home, and she was left alone in the palace. So she roved about by herself and looked at all the rooms and chambers, till at last she came to an old tower, to which there was a narrow staircase, ending with a little door, and in the door was a golden key.
Oh, don't turn the key, don't turn the key.
And when she turned it,
Damn it.
Ooh.
the door sprang open, and there sat an old lady spinning away very busily. "Why, how now, good mother?" said the princess. "What are you doing there?" "Spinning," said the old lady, and nodded her head, humming a tune while buzz went the wheel.
I mean, who even is this old lady? Like, why is she disobeying the queen and king, I guess? Just all of respect for her, but why?
"How prettily this thing turns round," said the princess, and took the spindle and began to try and spin.
No, be careful.
But scarcely had she touched it before the fairy's prophecy was fulfilled. The spindle wounded her, and she fell down lifeless on the ground. However, she was not dead, but had only fallen into a deep sleep. And the king and queen, who had just come home, and all their court fell asleep too. And the horses slept in the stable, and the dogs in the court, and the pigeons on the housetops, and the flies slept upon the walls. Even the fire on the hearth left off blazing and went to sleep. The jack stopped, and the spit that was turning about with the goose upon it for the king's dinner stood still. And the cook, who was at that moment pulling the kitchen boy by the hair to give him a box on the ears for something he had done amiss, let him go, and both fell asleep.
Oh, God, we get it. Like, everyone's falling asleep, you know?
The butler, who was slyly tasting the ale, fell asleep with the jug at his lips. Everyone stood still and was soundly asleep.
Well, I wonder if this spell works on children.
She worked on audience members. Anyways, a large hedge of thorns soon grew round the palace, and every year it became higher and thicker until you could not even see the roofs or the chimneys. But there went a report through all the land of the beautiful sleeping princess, Briar Rose, and from time to time several kings' sons came and tried to break through the thicket into the palace. But none of them could do this, for the thorns and bushes laid hold of them as if it were with hands, and there they stuck fast and died wretchedly. And after many, many years, there came a king's son into that land, and an old man told him the story of the thicket of thorns and the palace behind it and the beautiful princess, Briar Rose.
Mom, I want to watch Frozen.
Watch Frozen? Again? No, Gabby. Mommy and Gabby have watched that movie enough. Let's listen to this different story for one time.
Frozen, bro. The themes of sisterhood, overcoming all adversity. We do not need to rely on strong male figures to save the women. What a sophisticated feminist message, bro.
Briar Rose lay asleep in the castle with all her court. And he told, too, of how he had heard from his grandfather that many princes had tried and come, but they had all failed. Then the prince decided that he, too, would go. "All this shall not frighten me," he said. "I will go and see this right."
Let it go, throw it out the door, let it go, I don't know anything anymore.
Yeah!
Woo! Can you please control your child?
Can I control my child? You mean, can I stifle the creativity blossoming in the brilliant young mind for which I care? No, ma'am, I'm not going to do that. You can keep singing if you want to, honey.
The prince said, "All this shall not frighten me." And the old man tried to stop him, but he was bent upon going.
Oh, sorry. I thought I turned this thing off, everybody. Oh, They always call me about the bake sales at the worst times, am I right? Gabby, how do I turn the phone off?
Press the button.
I am pressing the button. How do I turn
The green
phone?
one.
Oh, I was pressing. Sorry, everybody. I was pressing the wrong. Sorry, everybody. I was pressing the wrong button.
Okay, so that very day, the 100 years were ended. And the prince came to the thicket, and he saw nothing but beautiful flowers, and he went through easily. And then he came at last to the palace, where the dogs were asleep, the horses, the pigeons, the flies were asleep, the spit was standing still, all the castle was standing still.
God, this story, it just keeps going and going, doesn't it?
So he went on farther still, and everything was so still you could hear every breath till at last he came to the old tower. And there he saw the little door, and he went in, and there was Briar Rose asleep on the couch.
Where's the old lady?
Maybe she was just the figment of the imagination before.
Bro, that's deep, bro.
So the prince looked at the beautiful, beautiful Briar Rose, and he could not take his eyes off her, and he leaned down and gave her a kiss.
Oh, he kissed her.
Gabby, no, we don't like that he kissed her. We have to ask people's permission before we give them kisses.
Oh, like kidding.
And the moment he kissed her, she opened her eyes and awoke and smiled upon him. And they went out together, and all of the court awoke, and the king and the queen, and the horses shook themselves awake. The dogs, the pigeons, the flies awoke. The fire in the kitchen blazed up. The snake went round, the butler, the cook, the kitchen boy, they all woke up. Everybody in the kingdom.
What's that?
Take that off the screen right now.
Bro, get a couple grams for me,
Oh,
bro.
yeah, no, definitely.
Stop. Enough. Put that up. The prince and Briar Rose were married, and the wedding feast was given, and they lived happily together their whole lives long. The end.
Oh, it's beautiful story.
Don't cry. Isn't your friend getting you graham crackers?
Oh my lord. Okay, Gabby, it's time to log off. We're gonna go to bed now.
No, I want to watch the show.
No, oh please, come on. I don't want to have another fight about bedtime. Can't you just go to bed nicely and then tomorrow we can watch Frozen?
Promise?
Promise.
Okay. Bye, guys. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go.
Oh, sublime example of diplomacy there.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yo, Drake, do you wanna go meet in the park, actually?
Hell yeah, Josh. See you in 10. I'll bring the snacks, bro.
Thank God they're gone. Okay, should we do another story? The singing one? Oh, okay. Just let me get that video up on my phone. Life isn't a fairy tale. Ah, there it is. Okay, here you go.
Hey, what's up?
So, guess who just asked me on a date tonight?
Josh?
Yes, but this time he promised.
Well, hopefully he doesn't make up another excuse and cancel again.
I gotta go get ready now.
Okay, good luck.
Once upon a time, there existed love. Chivalry was alive, and there were no hookups. But cars replaced horses, and fuckboys replaced knights. And now all that matters are filters and likes.
The mirror on the wall never says I'm the fairest. This endless game is hopeless for romantics. I often get ghosted and left on red. I'm always stressed and disappointed.
Life isn't a fairy tale. Magic and potions aren't real. But I hope my dreams will someday come true. Life isn't a fairy tale.
less like Sleeping Beauty, more like the ugly duckling. No fairy godmother to tell me what to do, so I'm left on this path with a wolf or two.
Awkward Tinder dates, yeah, they all suck. Like Rapunzel in her tower, I'm totally stuck. Hansel and Gretel, easily fooled and tricked. For me, the glass slipper never fits. Life isn't a fairy tale. Magic and potions aren't real. But I hope my dreams will someday come true. Life isn't a fairy tale. Happy ever after always fails. But I wish on shooting stars, maybe they'll bring me where you are. Oh, where you are. Oh, where you are. Ooh, where you are. They'll bring me where you are.
Ah, what a lovely song. Okay, should we do another story from the book? Which one? The Tinderbox? Oh, okay, sure.
A soldier came marching along the road. Left, right, left, right. He had been off to war, and now he was on his way home. Suddenly, a hideous old witch appeared on the road.
Good evening, old witch. Good evening, old soldier. What nice big knapsack you have. A nice sword you have. You must be a real soldier. Now you should have all the money you could ask for.
Why, thanks a lot, you old witch.
No, I don't want a single shilling. All right. You see that big tree over there? It's completely hollow inside. Slide up to the top and you'll find a hole where you can slide and all the way down the tree. And I don't want any shilling. All I want is for you to give me an old tinderbox that my grandmother left for me when she was down there last, and for you to get the money. Now I'll tie a rope around your waist so you can hoist yourself back up when you call me.
Well, if you insist, here I go.
Now when you get down the tree,
Whoa!
you will find 3 doors and you'll be able to open them because the keys are in the lock. Now, if you go to the first chamber, you will see a chest, and on top of it sits a dog that has eyes as big as a pair of teacups.
Oh, well, aren't you a handsome fella?
Now, set my apron out and put the dog on it. In the first chest, you will find copper shillings.
Oh, when the soldier saw the copper shillings, he filled his pockets and his knapsack with as many coins as he could carry. Then he shut the chest and put the dog back on it.
Now, if you go into through the second door, you will find a chest guarded by a dog that has eyes as big as a pair of mill wheels.
What? You shouldn't look at me so hard. You might hurt your eyes. The soldier followed the witch's instructions for this dog as well. But when he saw the silver coins, he threw away all his copper coins and filled his pockets, his knapsack, and his cap with as many silver coins as he could carry.
Now, If it's the gold you want, and you can have as much as you can carry, you have to go through the third door, and there will be a dog that has eyes, each as big as the round tower. Now that is a real dog, believe me.
Oh, how hideous. Good evening? The soldier doffed his cap, for he had never seen a dog like that before. But after a while of staring, he said to himself, "All right, that's enough." So he placed the dog on the apron, opened the chest, and he exclaimed, "Good Lord, that is a lot of gold, enough to buy all of Copenhagen, and every sugar pig sold by the cakewives, and every tin soldier, whip, and rocking horse in the world." Yes, it certainly was plenty of gold. So he threw out all his silver coins, and he filled his pockets, his knapsack, his cap, and even his boots with gold coins. "Oh, well, I can hardly walk, but at least I have plenty of gold. Pull me up now, you old witch."
Do you have the tinderbox?
Oh, I forgot all about it. Oh, let me see, where is it? Aha! I found it! Here I go. Whoa! Aha! Now, where is that old witch, anyways? Aha! What do you want the tinderbox for, anyways?
That's none of your business. You got the money. Now just give me the tinderbox.
Pish posh! You tell me what you want it for right now, or I'll cut off your head.
Now!
So the soldier turned around and he cut off her head. There she lay. But the soldier just grabbed all his money in the apron, took the tinderbox in his hand, and made his way toward the big city. It was a beautiful city, and he made his way into the loveliest inns, and he demanded the nicest rooms and the finest foods, because he was now rich.
What a rather strange old pair of boots for such a rich gentleman to be wearing.
The soldier hadn't yet bought himself new ones, but by the very next day, he had gone out to the finest shops in the city, and he had bought himself some nice new clothes with all the money he now had. The soldier was now a rich gentleman, and he had all sorts of friends who told him stories about their king and what a splendid man he was and what a charming princess his daughter was. Where might I catch a glimpse of her?
Impossible to catch a glimpse of her. She lives in an enormous fat castle surrounded by dozens of walls and castles. No one but the king dare visit her, for it was foretold that she would marry a simple soldier. That certainly did not please the king.
Simple soldier? Well, she's someone I'd like to see. The soldier was now living a merry life, going for drives in the king's garden, visiting the theater, and, of course, giving away plenty of his money to the poor, which was a kind gesture, one that he no doubt would have appreciated in the old days when he did not even have a single shilling. He was now a rich gentleman, and he had all sorts of friends who told him what a kind and distinguished gentleman he was. Truly a wonderful fellow. But since he was spending so much money and not taking any in, he finally had no more than 2 shillings left. He had to move out of the beautiful rooms and into a little garret room under the roof. Oh, he had to sell all of his fine clothes, and he had to brush his own boots and mend them with a darning needle, and none of his friends came to visit him anymore. because there were too many stairs to climb. Oh, it was a dark and cold night, and the soldier did not even have enough money to buy a candle stub. But then he remembered that there was one in the tinderbox he had taken from the witch all that time ago. So he pulled out the tinderbox and he struck fire, and then zip, the door burst open, and in came the dog with the eyes as big as a pair of teacups, and said,
"What is my master's command?"
"Oh, what an amusing tinderbox! If I can wish for whatever I want, then bring me some money." Zip! The dog was gone. Maybe I just imagined it. I don't know. Zip! The dog was back, and with him he brought all sorts of money for the soldier. Now, with all this money, the soldier was once again able to move into the beautiful rooms and was able to move out of the garret room. He was able to buy back all of his fine clothes. And his friends once again came to visit him because they remembered what a fine gentleman he truly was. How odd that no one is allowed to see that princess. Where is my tinderbox? Oh, I have it right here. Well, he struck fire, and zip, in came the dog with the eyes as big as a pair of teacups. The soldier looked at the dog and said, "Bring me the princess." And so the dog disappeared. And zip, he returned with the princess, and she and the soldier spent a beautiful night together. Wow! But the princess had to return to the palace to do her princess duties. The soldier was not happy with this, though, and the next night he once again struck the tinderbox and asked the dog to bring him the princess. However, unfortunately for the soldier, neither the princess nor the dog had noticed that they had been followed by a maid. The king was not happy at all with what the soldier had done, and so he demanded that the soldier be hanged for his actions. The end.
And that's why we can't get everything we want for our birthdays. You want another story from the book? Okay, sure, but last one and then it's time for bed. Let's see. Oh, what about the 4 Clever Brothers?
Once upon a time, on a sunny day, a poor man said to his 4 sons,
"Dear children, I have nothing to give you. You must go into the wild world and try your luck. Begin by learning some new tasks and see how you can get on."
So the 4 brothers took their walking sticks in their hands and their little bundles on their shoulders, and after bidding their father goodbye, went all out at the gate together. When they had got on some way, they came to 4 crossways, each leading to a different country. Then the eldest said,
"Here we must part, but on this day in 4 years we shall reunite here and see what we can do. Each of us must see what he can do for himself."
So each brother went his way, and as the eldest was hastening on, a man met him, asked him where he was going, and what he wanted to.
"I should like to learn some craft or trade." "Then come with me, and I will teach you to be the cunningest thief there ever was." "Oh, no, I could never do that. And besides, what can one look to earn by being a thief but the gallows?" "Oh, with me you need not fear the gallows, for I will only teach you to steal what is fair game. I meddle with nothing but what no one else can get, or care anything about, and where no one can find you out."
So the young man agreed to follow his trade, and he soon showed himself so clever that nothing could escape him that he had once set his mind upon. The second brother also met a man who, when he found out what he was setting out upon, asked him what craft he meant to follow.
I do not know. Then come with me and become a stargazer. Stargazing is a noble art, for nothing cannot be understood when once you understand the stars.
Whoa. The plan pleased him much, and he soon became a skillful stargazer, that when he had served out his time and wanted to leave his master, he gave him a glass and said,
With this you can see all that is passing in the sky and on earth, and nothing can be hidden from you.
The third brother met a huntsman, who took him with him and taught him so well all that belonged to hunting that he became very clever in the craft of the woods. And when he left his master, he gave him a bow and said,
Whatever you shoot at with this, you shall be sure to hit.
The youngest brother likewise met a man who asked him what he wished to do.
Young man, would you not like to be a tailor? Oh, no. Sitting cross-legged from morning to night, working backwards and forwards with a needle and goose will never suit me. Oh, that is not my sort of tailoring. But come with me and you shall learn quite another kind of craft.
Not knowing what better to do, he came into the plan and learnt tailoring from the beginning. And when he left his master, he gave him a needle and said,
Whatever you sew with this, you shall be able to sew so well, whether it be as hard as steel or as soft as an egg, and the seam will be so small that it cannot even be seen.
After the space of 4 years, at the time agreed upon, the 4 brothers met at the 4 crossroads, and having welcomed each other, set off towards their father's home, where they told him all that had happened to them, and how each had learned some craft. Then one day, as they were sitting before the house under a very high tree, the father said,
I should like to see what each of you could do in this way. Do you see the big tree over there? Oh, on top of it sits a chaffinch nest. Tell me, how many eggs there are in it?
The stargazer took his glass, looked up, and said,
5.
Now, take away the eggs without letting the bird that is sitting upon and hatching them know anything of what you are doing.
So the cunning thief climbed up the tree and brought away to his father the 5 eggs from under the bird, and it never saw or felt what he was doing, but kept sitting on at its ease. Then the father took the eggs and put one on each corner of the table and the 5th in the middle, and said to the huntsman,
Cut the eggs in 2 pieces at one shot.
The huntsman took up his bow, and at one shot struck all the 5 eggs as his father wished.
Now comes your turn. Sew the eggs and the young birds back together again, so neatly the shot shall have done them no harm.
Then the tailor took his needle and sewed the eggs as he was told, and when he had done, the thief was sent to take them back to the nest and put them under the bird without its knowing it. Then she went on sitting and hatched them, and in a few days they crawled out and had only a little red streak across their necks, where the tailor had sewn them together.
Wow!
Well done, sons. You have made a good use of your time and learned something worth knowing. I don't know which should have the prize. A time might soon come for you to turn some skill to some account.
Not long after this there was a great bustle in the country, for the king's daughter had been carried off by a mighty dragon.
Oh no, my daughter!
And the king mourned over his loss day and night, and made it known that whoever brought her back to him should have her for a wife. Then the 4 brothers said to each other,
Here is a chance for us. Let us try what we can do.
And they agreed to see whether they could not set the princess free.
I will soon find where she is, however.
The stargazer looked through his glass, and he soon cried out,
There! I see her afar off, sitting on a rock in the ocean, and I see the dragon guarding her.
Then he went to the king and asked for a ship for himself and his brothers, and they sailed together over the sea till they came to the right place. There they found the princess sitting, as the stargazer had said, on the rock, and the dragon was lying asleep, with his head upon her lap.
I dare not shoot, for I should shoot the beautiful young lady also. Then I shall try my skill.
The thief went and stole her away from under the dragon, so quietly and gently that the beast did not know it, but went on snoring. Then away they hastened with her, full of joy, in their boat towards the ship. But soon came the dragon roaring behind them through the air, for he awoke and missed the princess. But when he got over the boat and wanted to pounce upon them and carry off the princess, the huntsman took up his bow and shot him straight through the heart, so that he fell down dead. They were still not safe, for he was such a great beast that in his fall he overset the boat, and they had to swim in the open sea upon a few planks. So the tailor took his needle, and with a few large stitches put some of the planks together, and he sat down upon these, and sailed about and gathered up all pieces of the boat, and then tacked them together so quickly that the boat was soon ready, and they then reached the ship and got home safe. When they had brought home the princess to her father, there was a great rejoicing, and he said to the 4 brothers,
One of you shall marry her, but you must decide amongst yourselves which it is to be.
Then there arose a quarrel between them, and the stargazer said,
If I had not spotted her with my glass, we would not have been able to rescue her. Therefore, she ought to be mine. You spotting her would have been of no use if I had not stolen her away from the dragon. Therefore, she ought to be mine.
And she should be mine, for if I had not shot down the dragon, he would have torn you all and the princess to pieces. And if I had not sewn the boat together again, you all would have been drowned. Therefore, she should be mine.
Then the king put in a word and said,
Each of you is right, and as all cannot have the young lady, the solution is for neither of you to have her, for the truth is there is someone she likes a great deal better. But to make up for your loss, I shall give each of you half a kingdom.
So the brothers agreed that this plan would be much better than either quarreling or marrying a lady who had no mind to have them. And the king then gave to each half a kingdom, as he had said. And they lived very happily the rest of their days, and took good care of their father. And somebody took better care of the young lady than to let either the dragon or one of the craftsmen have her again.
What a nice ending for everyone. The princess was able to follow her heart, and if she can do that, so can you. What's your dream? Well, I don't know if being a thief is the best dream, but maybe you could use those skills and be a secret agent. And we know that we don't have to find a prince or princess. We can make our own happy endings. Okay, it's time for bed. I'll come check on you in a little bit if you can't sleep, but I really want you to try. Okay. Good night. but it's late, so only a few more. All right, let's see. What should we do? Oh, the Marvelous Minstrel. I think that has some songs and some animals. It should be lovely.
Once upon a time, there was a marvelous minstrel who went for a walk in the woods and thought about all sorts of things. When there was nothing more to think about, she thought to herself,
I'm getting bored here in the forest, and I need to get myself a good companion. Oh. Ah! Here comes a wolf. I don't have any desire to see a wolf.
Oh, dear minstrel, what is that lovely tune you're playing? I'd like to learn to play that way too.
You can easily do it. You only have to do as I say.
Oh, minstrel, I'll obey you just as a pupil obeys his teacher.
Then follow me. Look here, if you want to learn how to play, you must put your front paws into this crack.
I'm stuck.
Wait here till I get back. I'm getting bored here in the forest, and I need to get myself a good companion. Ah, here comes a fox. I don't have any desire to see a fox.
Oh, dear minstrel, what's that lovely tune you're playing? I'd like to learn to play that way too.
You can easily do it. You only have to do as I say.
Oh, minstrel, I'll obey you just as a pupil obeys his teacher.
Then come this way. Well now, my little fox, if you want to learn something, put your left front paw on this branch. Now put your right paw there.
Ah! What is this?
Wait here till I get back. I'm getting bored here in the forest, and I need to get myself another companion. Ah, here comes a hare. I didn't want a hare.
Oh, dear minstrel, what is that lovely tune you're playing? I'd like to learn to play that way too.
You can easily do it. You only have to do as I say.
Oh, minstrel, I'll obey you just as a pupil obeys his teacher.
Then follow me.
The minstrel tied a rope around the little hare's neck.
Move, lively little hare. I want you to run around the tree 20 times.
Ah! Ouch! That hurts!
Wait here till I get back.
The minstrel went off on her walk, determined to find a true companion. When the wolf freed himself from the rock, he was bursting with anger and fury. He made up his mind to go after the minstrel and get his revenge. Along the way, he saw the fox, who yelled out, Brother Wolf, help me, the minstrel has tricked me. He freed the fox, and together they went and they found the little hare as well, who they freed. And then all three began the search for their enemy.
Here comes the right companion. At last, I never wanted beasts in the first place, just humans.
The woodcutter stood as if in a trance as the minstrel played a beautiful song. Then the wolf, the fox, and the little hare all came running up, and the woodcutter could see that they had something evil in mind. So the woodcutter raised his glittering axe and said, "Whoever wants her had better watch out, because he'll have to get through me first." The animals were frightened and ran back into the forest, while the minstrel played one more tune for the woodcutter out of gratitude.
Thank you, dear companion.
Fairy tales were supposed to have morals. Anyway, shall we do another one? Oh, the red shoes. Is that the dancing one? Oh, I love that dance. Okay, just let me get the video. Okay, here it is.
There once was a young girl who was pretty, but poor. So poor she had to go barefoot in the summer. In winter, she wore thick wooden shoes which hurt her feet. Her name is Karen. Karen loved to dance and would often twirl around on her feet. When she was 15, she lost her mother. On the day her mother was buried, a neighbor took pity on her and made her a gift. It was a pair of shoes that she had patched together with strips of red cloth. Karen wore the shoes as she walked behind her mother's coffin. After her mother's death, her great Aunt Anna took her in, and the first thing Aunt Anna did was to get rid of the girl's handmade shoes. "They're hideous! In my house you will be clothed properly," she said. One day, on a shopping trip with her aunt, Karen caught a glimpse of a great ballerina who was to perform in the city. Karen saw the dancer running towards the theater. She was so beautiful. Her skin was pale as marble, her dancing shoes as red as rubies. "Oh, how I wish to be like her," thought Karen. The dancer vanished through the doorway. "You will also need some shoes. Come with me," said her aunt. As they approached the shop window, Karen saw glinting from far away a beautiful pair of red shoes. "They must be patent leather. They shine so," said her aunt. "Yes, they do." The shopkeeper shuffled towards them. "You must try them on. They look as if they have been made just for you." And Karen did. And they fitted her perfectly. As they walked home, Karen wore the shoes. Passers-by stared at her newly clothed feet, shining in the sunlight. But Karen didn't notice them, for she could think of nothing but the shoes. An old shoe shiner bowed before them. "May I shine your shoes, madame?" Karen snapped out of her thoughts in surprise. "Look what pretty little dancing shoes! They fit so perfectly when you dance." Yes, she could see herself already in the red shoes. As soon as they would be home, she would dry it. Then the old man tapped the shoes 3 times, and now Karen could not resist. She began to dance a few steps, and once she had begun, her feet kept dancing. It was as though the shoes had taken power over her. She twirled around to the corner of the street. She didn't see the car coming towards her, and would certainly have been run over if her aunt hadn't seized her. But Karen kept dancing, and without noticing, kicked her aunt violently. In the end, Aunt Anna took her shoes off of her feet, and at last she was still. They walked home in silence, Karen ashamed of what she had done, but she didn't dare say so. She could also not stop looking at the shoes. At home, the shoes were put away. Anna locked them in a cupboard and hid the key. but Karen could not stop thinking about them. At night, Karen lay awake, longing to put the shoes on again and to dance a few steps. She remembered how happy she had felt that afternoon, how free, and when she did sleep, she could only dream of one thing, and in her dreams she was twirling and twirling. Sometimes the old shoe shiner appeared, and her dream became a nightmare, and she woke only to think of the red shoes again. During the day, she could not concentrate. Oh, how she wished to dance in the red shoes! Then Aunt Anna became ill. The doctor said she would not recover, so Karen nursed her. Day and night she would be by her aunt's bedside. Still, she would be thinking of the red shoes. One evening, while her aunt was asleep, she took the key, went to the cupboard, and put on the shoes. What bliss she felt! She began to dance a few steps. But when she tried to go left, the shoes would go right. And when she tried to go right, the shoes would go left. And she tried to go upstairs, the shoes would go downstairs, through the door and onto the street. She twirled onto the road. She danced into the woods. As she twirled, she thought she saw a moon glistening among the trees. But it was a face. The face of the old shoe shiner. What beautiful dancing shoes, he said. Karen shivered with fright. She tried to take off the shoes, but couldn't, for they clung firmly to her feet. She danced and danced and danced some more. She danced in the fields and over the meadows throughout the days, throughout the nights. She danced in the sunshine and danced in the rain. She danced in a churchyard. She could not stop. And in the cemetery, she wished to rest, but could not stop. How she longed to stop, but the shoes kept on dancing. You shall dance until you're pale and cold, until your body shrivels to a skeleton, said a voice out of thin air, or was it in Karen's mind? She could not tell. Oh, please, make it stop. She was quite exhausted, so exhausted, but she could not stop. She twirled to the door of the church, and inside, into the aisle. As she twirled, she saw the church was full of people. They gathered for a funeral. There lay a coffin. In the coffin was her dead aunt. As tears rolled down her cheeks, Karen twirled out of the church and into the yard, back onto the road, until she disappeared into the horizon. She danced and danced for many more days after that, and she thought she would dance forever, or until she grew old and withered to nothing. When she came to a little lonely house at the end of a path, Karen knew what the house was, and she knew what she must do. Come out! I cannot come in, for I must dance. Don't you know who I am? I am the executioner, and I cut off people's heads with my axe. Do not cut off my head, but please take off the red shoes. And the executioner lifted his axe and cut off her feet. The red shoes twitched on the ground for a moment, and Karen thought they would stop there and then, but the shoes rose up again and began a step to the right and a step to the left and twirled and around some more. They danced and danced as Karen looked out in horror, and continued to dance until all Karen could see were two red dots vanishing into the distance. Karen recovered, but she had lost both of her feet, and now she had to walk with crutches. She inherited everything from her great aunt, and so now she still lived in her house. In time, she got prosthetic feet fitted, but she would never dance again. Still, sometimes she thought of the red shoes and how wonderful she had felt when dancing in them. And sometimes she thought of her dead mother and of her life before, when she was quite poor and had to go barefoot. She could still remember the feeling of her toes as she walked on the grass, and she thought with regret about how she had deserted her great aunt in the darkest hour, all for the sake of a dance. And if you walk along the country roads, into the fields and over the meadows, some day you might see a pair of red shoes clinging to a pair of feet, twirling, twirling, twirling into the distance.
I wish I could dance like that. Shall we do another story from the book? Oh, look, it's Rapunzel, your favorite.
Oh, Champion, how their sweet-tasting roots would be delicious with some vinegar and pepper. Ah.
What are you looking at?
Look there in the garden, those Champions. For days I have desired them. Please, ask the enchantress if she would give me some.
I heard the last person who came to see the enchantress that were turned into a toad. Believe me, you won't see me go anywhere near her front door.
If you really loved me, you would go into the garden and get me some of that sweet-tasting Champion. The enchantress will never spot that some of it has gone missing, and I'll be able to make us a delicious supper.
I guess I'll just get the Champion then.
Thief! How dare you steal from my garden?
Oh, I'm so sorry. My wife saw the beautiful Champion growing in your garden, and she has longed for it ever since. Please, forgive me.
You are forgiven. Take as much of the Champion as you can carry.
As much as I can carry?
Yes, but on one condition. You must give to me the child that your wife will bring into this world. It will be treated well, and I will care for it like a mother.
I promise.
Oh, I knew you loved me. This tastes even better than I ever could have imagined. Rapunzel. This baby is mine.
No, our child. No. Mother, I don't want to go outside. I want to see our neighbors over there on the hill.
No, I have a better idea. You will live here in this tower. Every day I will bring you food and water. When I want to visit, I will call out, Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down
I ask. Rapunzel, let down your hair. Here,
Thank you, Mother.
whatever.
Boy, you.
What a strange puzzle. I can't seem to find the door. I don't see how I could climb up to that window. It is far too high. Rapunzel, let down your hair.
That's how I will get what my heart desires.
Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair.
But you're not the enchantress.
Rapunzel, let me take you far away from this horrible tower. Let me be your husband, and I will love you for as long as I live.
But how will I ever get down from this tower? You can climb down my hair, but I cannot follow.
There must be a way.
Wait, I have an idea. Bring me some silk and I will weave a ladder with it. When it is ready, I'll be able to climb down from the ladder and we'll both ride away from here. Far, far, far away.
I will do as you ask. Do not despair. Soon you will be free. Mwah.
Thank you, brave prince.
Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair. Wicked child, you have deceived me, and for that you will be punished.
No, my hair. My hair.
I will banish you to the desert where no one is foolish enough to tread. There you will live, all alone, under the baking hot sun.
No.
Now to punish the lovesick prince. Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair. Ah! Foolish prince, the bird you seek no longer sits in the nest. Rapunzel is lost to you. You will never see her again. No, the love of my life is gone, and I have nothing left to live for. Huh? Dear prince, you should look before you leap. My eyes! I cannot see! My eyes! Rapunzel! Rapunzel!
My prince! My dear prince!
can see. Your tears, they have healed me. Our love, it was meant to be. Let us go now to my father's kingdom, where we shall live happily ever after.
What a lovely ending. The perfect one to carry us off to bed. I'm sure all of these stories will give you some very exciting dreams. Good night. Sweet dreams.
Once upon a time, there existed love. Chivalry was alive, and there were no hookups. But cars replaced horses, and fuckboys replaced knights. And now all that matters are filters and likes. The mirror on the wall never says I'm the fairest. This endless game is hopeless for romantics. I often get ghosted and left on red. I'm always stressed and disappointed.